Tactics Training Volume 3. I'm going to do 10 tactics and walk you through the normal progression I've done in previous videos. Okay, so I'm white, tactic number 1. Start with the material count. Let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6 pawns for white, 7 for black. So he's up a pawn. 1 minor piece for black, 1 minor piece for white, 2 rooks for me, 2 rooks for him, a queen each, and that looks good. So just a quick assessment. Again, I don't stress variations yet. We just have to see what is under attack, what is happening. So first quick observation, this bishop is awful. I mean, it's hemmed in due to this pawn over here. It just has no scope to go anywhere, right? I mean, it has, it's just a mess. Okay, what else? I have some pressure on this g7 pawn. I have a possibility of pushing this guy at some point as well. That is one idea. This knight is pretty good. It has a possibility of maybe going to a square, although I'm not suggesting that's anything that's winning at this point. But things look reasonably strong for white right now. Even though I'm down a pawn, it's probably for a good reason. So now the question is, how to continue this? Rook takes g7 is a quick idea I thought about, but I don't like. Mainly because king takes g7, queen g5, king h, and that doesn't really do very much. So what makes sense here to play? Realizing that he's basically down a piece. His piece is doing nothing in the game. Knight c5 to d7 is, to this square here is an idea hitting, both these pieces, but it's slow, I mean, it's not like it's inevitable either. It's not a great move, I don't think. Queen g5 is quite forcing. He has to play g6, which is a good move. And then I can play potentially f6, but that isn't strong enough. It's still not as clear what to do there. Well, this is a tough problem. I'm going to give you that. Let's see. Anything else? f6 doesn't work again. f6, rook takes f6, queen takes f6. Nothing. So queen g5 looks like the most forcing move, but I don't see a continuation after g6. And let me look a little deeper. I can't take the pawn because it captures with the rook, and it's just, it's just nothing. So queen g5, g6, f6 maybe? He gets to kick me though. That's the real issue I have here. A move like knight c5 actually may not be terrible at some point because it's a progressive move that allows me to get closer to the action, and his bishop can't really do anything. It's just going to cut off there for sure. It also, again, I had this in terms of threats to me. I didn't really talk about this, but this is sort of a threat, not really, but it's indirect. My king is on a diagonal. I got to be careful about, and knight c5 seals it up pretty nicely. The problem is, after I play knight c5 to d7, this pawn becomes weak again, especially if I put my queen on g5, which I was thinking of doing. So FYI there. So what else? See if you can think of this with me, and maybe you can come up with it before I can. The rooks aren't doubled. I wish they were. Let's take a look at rook g7 again. Rook g7. King takes g7. Queen g5, king h8. f6, sure. Rook g8. Yeah, and I'm not in any good shape at all. So what I'm going to try to apply here, and I might get this one wrong, is just a move. Again, in a tournament conditions, you're in a situation where you have a clock running, and I can't spend 3 hours figuring this out. So sometimes I just have to make the move that I feel is less committal and the most threatening, and that to me is Queen G5. Let's see what happens. It is. Wow, and he takes it. He plays Rook G6. Okay, so then here. Wow, so that was a good move. Now, I think what happens, I'm actually curious myself, and you should look at this too when you're doing these problems. What would happen if he did play G6? And the answer is, this is a move I really didn't think about right away, is Queen H6. And I think the idea is I'm going to pull my rook over, and what are you going to do? And you can't capture. Right? You can't capture because of the pin. Very strong move. So in this case, I just made a move that I felt was the most committal. I mean, the least committal, but the most threatening, and that worked. Okay, problem two. Okay. He's trying to trade off queens here, rooks here. So I say I have 3 5 pawns, 2 5 pawns. Well, this is interesting. He's up in exchange, but I have this enormous diagonal, and I have this rook behind this passer, which is certainly a good idea. I think the first thing I see is this passer is extremely strong, and there's no reason I shouldn't push it. In fact, if I do push it, it's just winning, because push to e2, he takes, I take back, I'm still behind the passer, and how does he stop it? If he plays like rook over, I just queen the pawn. So that's got to be the move. I'm just going to push. Oh, he takes it. How odd. Okay, well, either way, I still win the rook. I was looking at winning the queen, but winning the rook either way is still winning. Number 3. Okay. 3 pawns to 3 pawns. He's up in exchange again. He's got 2 rooks and a bishop. I have a rook and knight and bishop. The king's kind of vulnerable. My rook is hanging. So I got to address all these issues at once. And I think I see the move. It's pretty basic. I have to, if I take here, he recaptures. I have knight over, forking king and rook. So that looks like the right move to me. Let's just double check it though. Does he have anything else? Is he mating me somewhere? No, not too easily. He's got to do something. So I'm going to go here, here, check, and that's the move. Okay, problem 4. Okay, so 2, 4, 6. 6 pawns, everything is equal in material. He's trying to trade off, or actually he's threatening to take this pawn with check, which is pretty damn strong. I gotta be careful. So my initial reaction was just, no, just play here. You know, force off the rook, but he has a check first, which is very strong. So that's not gonna work, I don't think. I think a better move. Well, see, the other problem is if the other move I was looking at was this queen check, hitting this bishop. But the problem is, after he moves, he has queen check picking up this bishop, right? So I'm not sure what that actually does. Maybe not that strong after all. Is there another move? Check. Oh, actually, no, it doesn't work because, well, does it? Let's see. If I have a rook lift, okay, I'm just looking, I'm trying to look at this variation. So if I go here, he moves to here, I take the bishop, he takes check, I lift the rook to protect this diagonal. It's going to get kind of ugly. Um, does that hold? I think it does because his rook can't really come down and check me because I can just take it. So I think that makes sense to me. All right, I'm going to try it. I think this is good. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's the move I saw. I think just this, Queen F4. This is what I saw up to, and it looks good. I can protect it again with Queen F4. I should have looked at this deeper because now I'm like, how does this work again? But Queen F4 protects both the bishop and the rook. It seemed like it did though because it's on the same diagonal. So, and regardless of how he captures, I can capture with the bishop. Okay, number 5. Awkward looking piece placement here. Let's see here. So 8 pawns, 8 pawns. No captures so far from the minor piece, from the pawns anyway. There's 3 minor pieces, rooks, rooks. No castling yet. Uh, Black's queen is on f4, and immediately before I go anywhere, I see this is odd. It's not losing. It's not necessarily deciding factor. But what he is trying to do, I think, is hit this pawn here. I mean, it's not really a great move, but it's something. It's just he's trying to create some havoc, and it's kind of succeeding. My first initial idea here is knight here. Well, I can't move my knight, so much for that idea. So I am pinned. Disregard. Well, d5 is an idea. I don't see what it does. So whatever. g3. g3 looks interesting because again, he can't. By playing g3 is very annoying. It's kind of a natural move. It does weaken the light squares and weakens this diagonal. So just FYI, I'm aware of that. But the queen is again so misplaced here. Where does he go? G3. He goes to, I guess, G4. Then I play H3. He goes to here. Then I play G4. Maybe he sneaks away, but it's a little awkward. Just a little awkward. Is it really that scary? I don't know. G3, Queen G4. That's really his only move, too. G3, Queen G4, H3. Queen H5, G4. And is he trapped now? I think he's trapped. Sorry, I'm doing all this in my head. It's a little hard to figure out. But I'm thinking G3, he plays here. I play H3. He has to go back to, and the only square he has is here. Then I push again to G4. And where does he go? Can't take on H3. It's covered. He could take the 9 all he wants. It doesn't help anything. I think that's the move. Let's see. Yep. Queen G4, H3. And he's taking it, but it doesn't matter. I'm taking. He gets this piece. So it's interesting move, but not worth a queen. Okay, what are we up to? 6, I think? All right. Interesting. Okay, so 7 pawns each. 2 minors for me, 2 for him. Rooks, everything is the same. And it's awkward. These pieces immediately, looking at this position. Remember what I said earlier. Each position tells a story, and the story here is one of just uncoordinated pieces. All these pieces up here just don't look right. They look odd. The more you play, you would see that pretty quickly. And what I'm looking at right now is, first off, if I just take this, if he takes with the rook, I have just g5 winning a piece. Then he has queen g4 though. No, then I have knight f6. So this just doesn't look good at all for him. Okay. If he doesn't take with, or he takes with the pawn when I capture, then this just hangs. Right? So I think That's the move. It's just taking, right, g5, and I'm winning that. Okay, number 7. Okay, so I have 4 pawns to his 6, so there's a lot of exchanges here, and this king g8 was just played after some check sequence. So he's got a nice battery here attacking my pawn. My knight is hanging as well. He's got this magnificent diagonal, which, the problem with this diagonal is as good as it isn't really in the heat of the operation here, right? It would be better if the bishop were here or something to help, participate in the attack, but it's not really doing very much. So, white to play. Well, my knight's hanging, as I mentioned before. I have potential mate threats if I'm not careful. But I think it's pretty obvious that just rook h8, king moves wherever, and then the other rook over is winning the queen. So I don't see how this is a problem. Yeah, that's it. Okay. This is 7 now. Did I just say? I'm not sure what number I'm up to. I think this is 7. If it's more, oh well. Sorry. Okay. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 pawns, 3 minors, 3 minors, 2 rooks. A lot of weaknesses on his side for sure. On my side, what's he threatening? Well, he's threatening this pawn. Takes and then check. It's kind of scary. So I got to be careful. This piece is really weak looking, in fairness. So let's see what we can do here. Nothing obvious quite yet. I'm thinking of like a knight move. That doesn't do it, just hangs this. Well, the other thing I was thinking of is this knight has nowhere to go. What if I just play h6? Simple as that looks, is it that simple? H6, he takes the pawn, but so what? I don't think there's anything else here, guys. I can't. There's no mate threats to me. There's no mate threats to him, obviously. It's rooks here are not active yet. Mine semi-passive here. This is on a nice open file. I think this has got to be it. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. No, I'm right. I just take the piece. In terms of where I move now, uh, I think something like this makes sense. 9h7 hitting the pawn. Let's just see if the computer agrees. No, he doesn't like it. Oh, whatever. Minus 27 for that? Gee. Wonder why. Is it this? Wonder why that was so bad. Bishop d5. King to the hole. I guess I'm better, just not as strong. All right, whatever. Happens. Thought I was going to get 100% today, but it's like 95%. Okay, here's problem 8. 2 more to go after this. Okay. 6 pawns. 6 pawns. A weak king. Penetration by the dark black pieces. But this king is also very weak as well. So this FYI here. And I'm down in exchange. Right? He's got a rook. I have a bishop. Definitely some issues, but I see a very quick, easy move here, which is queen h4, check, winning the rook. Now, before I play it, let's take a look. What is his follow-up? Check, he moves to f7, let's just say, takes. Where does this queen go? Does he have any serious attack after that? I don't see it. No. Okay, problem 9. God, minus 27. What the heck was that about? Anyway, sometimes this machine is really weird how it calculates stuff. Okay, I gotta be careful about bishop takes because he has knight takes and then takes the rook. So I got to look at this a little deeper. The obvious move here sounds like it's queen takes, but then he has this f7 fork, which is quite annoying. So Bishop e2, knight takes, bishop takes here, rook takes. What else? Something that requires some thought. Yeah, he wins that. I'm thinking bishop e2 might actually, bishop e2, rook over. I just take the damn thing. He takes, and look, everything looks kind of equal. So I don't quite get, this is an immediacy type of move. So let me just, I'm seeing this threat right away here. So 7 pawns each. We're in the opening basically. 3 minors, 4 minors, 4 minors, 2 rooks. Yeah, and I have my queen under attack. My bishop is hanging. He's threatening knight f7 at some point, hitting these guys. There's a lot of stuff going on here. And this is why tactics training is so important, because it could be a position like this where someone throws a monkey wrench into the machinery. So I went a whole piece with queen takes f. I'm sorry, queen takes e2. Yeah, queen moves. I take on d3, and it's kind of game over, I think. Bishop takes is a little awkward to have a pin on my queen, right? And it's still hanging technically. It's like, it's kind of awkward. I wonder if either one is good, but one's better than the other. I don't know, but I like queen takes, even though it allows knight f7. But it has to be one or the other. I can't leave. I can't just move my queen and hang my. I hang with check, so it's pretty decisive. It's just a matter of what am I capturing with here. I'm gonna take with the bishop and just assume this is gonna be okay. That's wrong. Ah, see? Two wrong now. It is queen takes. Okay, and that's it. I guess on this, I take. He takes. I guess he takes on d8 because anywhere else he can't escape, and I should have looked at that. See? All right, number 9. Oh, good to know. I missed 2. Well, 1.5. Okay, where can I go here? Well, this is like a simple capture. If I capture here, he captures there, and I'm up a piece, right? What's the big deal? Yeah, I just did a quick body count, but I mean, it doesn't, the material count is kind of obvious here. It doesn't really matter much. All right, last one. Rook check. I said 3, 5, 5 pawns each, 1 minor, rook each. Okay, got it. Well, I'm in check, so I have to manage that right away. His queen is sort of hanging. As is mine, he's got a knight hitting me here. He's got a lot of stuff on me. So I think the key here is where am I going to go to? I got to be very careful. So if I go like here, he has knight g5, and it's mating actually, so I can't go there. It's a matter of where do I move my king. Because a lot of pieces are hanging here as a result of this. I don't want to play king h1 because that kind of takes the pressure off. So I think king g1 is good. It's still, I'm kind of indirectly hitting his rook, his queen is hanging, his knight is hanging. He's got a lot of problems there. So I think that's the right move. Let me just see, does he have any other tricks though? Queen g1. Sorry, king g1. What if he plays me? So if I go king g1, what if he hits me with this sort of a discover check? I just take it though, and I'm hitting c5 and e2. I think that makes the most amount of sense. I'm going to play king g1. If I'm wrong, okay. This rook is really out of play. It's not going to participate that much that I see. King G1 I'm going to play. There he goes. Takes. Now, see the problem, he takes, but I get to take the rook. And that was problem 10. Okay, I only missed a couple, but one of them was sort of a continuation. The other one was just a tougher capturing situation that I should have analyzed more. But look, I'm stronger as a result. Pattern recognition is the key. The more patterns you see, the more you'll remember, and the better you will do in your games. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.